Hi. If you're watching this video or listening to it, you're either you're first and foremost a very important friend. So I've either gone to high school with you, which is coming up 50 years. That's pretty cool. Or I went to college with you, or I have been coaching you in different programs, or you were one of my transition workshops. In any event, you're a friend, and I just want you to know it. Friends are special, especially with what we're going through today. We can't do this alone. In fact, if you think about it, we can't do anything alone successfully. So we really need each other. And my question to you is, how are you doing? Seriously, and really, how are you doing? These are unusual and very stressful times. All of us really have never experienced something like this. The closest it came for me was in 2008 when I lost my job. It was a really life-defining moment. But sometimes your worst day can become your best day. It's all about how you respond. So I would suggest a few things to you for your consideration. I mean, this is, even though these are stressful times, and yes, we've lost a lot of loved people. I lost my dad's sister, my aunt, last night. She was 93. But in the midst of all this, there's also an opportunity or opportunities we can take advantage of if we pay attention. I think the three basic needs, or the main needs of human beings, is one, to belong, to be loved, and to have meaning and significance in their life. We all want to belong to somebody, something bigger than ourselves. We all have a need to be loved. And I think in the end of the day, we all want to make a difference in somebody's lives. So right now, an opportunity, what are you doing for yourself first and foremost? What are you doing now to help you be a better person tomorrow? What are you doing now to be a better person after this is over? The new normal. So in relation to that, I would tell you what I'm doing, share with you. Well, one of them is I'm reading a lot. I'm reading a lot of information to help me in my business and to be a better coach and a better teacher. The other thing that I started this year was a result of a book I read right before Christmas, Atomic Habits. And it's a pretty cool book. Suggest you get it. After I read that book, habits determine our success. And as I looked at things, I had some habits I shouldn't have. I need to get rid of. So I wrote down, I got the journal that goes with it. And so there's a section in the journal that what I did was identify my 25 habits that if I executed them on a regular basis, I felt would make me be a better person and help me to be more successful. So each month and every day within that month, I go through my list at the end of the day. Did I do any of these habits? And so I could see my progress as I went along, and it's amazing the results. I feel like I've improved. And there's always room for improvement. And so right now, what are you working on? What are you looking at? What are you reading? What have you, just, how are you, what are you thinking about? The one thing I've had to do is, it's everything in the news is not positive. So I want to focus on my world, not the world, in order to maintain as best attitude as I can. Speaking of which, attitude is more than a soft and fluffy word. Positive thoughts that we allow to accumulate in our brain create real value that helps us build the skills necessary that will last. And so I'm trying to do my best of filling as much of my mind with positive thoughts as possible. In fact, one of my favorite authors talks about Jeffrey Gitomer talks about the yes attitude. Not a heavy read, but a good read. He's got a lot of good thoughts about attitude. But the last thing I'll share with you is what I call the aloha attitude. Some of you that are on this, listening to this, hopefully, I went to high school with and graduated from high school in Hawaii. And those were the best years of my life in many ways, in the things I learned, things I experienced. But I call it the aloha attitude. If you break the word aloha, there's two parts of it. Alo actually means what you put forth in the real world. In other words, yourself. Alo. Ha is the breath of life. And you know, basically when you put those two together, aloha, you're living from the inside out. And it's called the aloha spirit. And so I would just leave that with you. Aloha spirit, aloha to you. And I'm wishing you much, much success, all of you, in the days ahead. So reach out to me if you'd like to chat, or just let me know how you're doing, responding to this newsletter. My contact information is, you'll note it in the newsletter, but I'd like to know how you're doing. Aloha.